Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade tabletop role-playing rules by World of Darkness. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast is intended for a mature audience and will include strong language and mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and so forth, that may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or undead is strictly coincidental. My name is Rena Henze, and for tonight's game, I will be your storyteller. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of the Old Ways Podcast's Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Blood Moon Rising. I am your storyteller Rena, and I am excited to bring the second episode with our wonderful guest star Murph and his very interesting vampire to your listening ears tonight. So, before we get into those shenanigans, let's have our introductions. So, to my right.
Hi, this is Mike, and I'm playing Marcus Voss of Clan Bruja.
And finally, we have...
Hello, this is Keeper Murph from the Miskatonic University podcast, and I'm playing Francisco Campo, or Frank Campos, from I'm a Shemisi.
Yes, a creator of chaos in my city. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
We pick up tonight with one Marcus Voss after the events of the warehouse and the entity known as Dima. And Marcus, you have returned Greg to his home. There's going to need to be some perhaps mind wiping done later, but he's completely passed out, unconscious, and he lives alone. So for the moment, you think it'll be okay. And you've helped Katerina and Vince get their people back where they need to go. You still have a few hours left in the night. Not a whole lot, but enough that you can meet with an old friend. And with the level of agitation and energy that has built up in you over the last few nights, and this night in particular, now seems like as good a time as any to pay a visit to one Frank Campos. You've heard that Frank has quite literally gone to ground in the Castro district, and he shouldn't be too difficult to find.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the Castro district is a pretty exciting place, so there's all sorts of places he could be there, but I'm certain that any number of places would welcome someone with Frank's talents. Talents which I am in need of.
Very much. So, how are you planning to find Frank this evening?
Well, they have somewhat of a sordid history back from the war, obviously, but there are certain telltale signs with someone with his skill. He is an artist in a way, and he has kind of a vibe all his own. And so there's going to be somewhere out there where his talents are going to be on display. And so I think I probably would look for any sort of new reviews in the Castro district, new things happening. I have a fair amount of influence now throughout the city, and so I'd probably be, keeping my ears and eyes, minus any other eyes or limbs or organs, out for someone like Frank.
So you have heard that there is a new drag review occurring at a small theater near the Castro Theater, actually just a couple streets over, where performers are able to do feats of physical manipulation, where they can move their limbs around and contort, especially doing lip syncs, that they should not be able to do necessarily And you've also heard rumors of drag queens walking around in 8-inch bone stilettos that don't appear to be shoes, clipping around this in this particular area. But I mean, that's just tabloids, maybe, right?
Seems rather curious. So I suppose I'll go and look at what fruits the Castro District has to offer in regards to this new drag show.
So it's about 3 o'clock in the morning at this point by the time you've gotten through everything. And most of the nightlife in the Castro has calmed down. Normally, it would still be going on, but with San Francisco on edge about the serial killer who's been running rampant in the streets for the last couple of weeks, and just the general unease and malaise in the air, things have started shutting down even San Francisco's famous nightlife a lot earlier than it normally would. So it's actually pretty quiet, other than you see a few queens staggering home, laughing, but then looking around in fear to see if anyone's following them before they hurry on to their home or bus stop or wherever it is they're going. There's a homeless man curled up on a front step outside of a bookshop with his 2 dogs curled up around him, keeping the wind away. And other than that, you don't see a whole lot until you pull up in front of this theater, this tiny theater announcing this drag review, which mentions special guest Dr. Moreau.
Oh, bingo. Yeah, I suppose given his age, Marcus would probably get flashes of the Zodiac Killer and the stuff that took over San Francisco when there were killings near there and Vallejo and inside Laurel Heights and stuff like that. There'd be the same kind of vibe in
exactly
the Castro District where there'd be a few people out, but man, people are really looking over their shoulder and nobody's really sure who is safe and who isn't.
The few people you do pass, the homeless guy who's on the step and a couple other people who are staggering home, they all move away from you, give you a wide berth, whether it's just out of fear and panic from the serial killer or just the general vibe that you're giving off on this particular night. Everyone gives you a lot of distance. They cross to the other side of the street or they actively pull away from you as you walk past.
Yeah, it's probably a really good idea at this point after the night I've had. I'm probably not eager to get near anyone.
No, they should be very grateful you're not. But once you get past these few people, just sort of taste the strain and fear on the air. You look around, there's no one else on the street. You could try the door, or have a thought about Frank and see if he picks up on it.
That would be some powerful kindred vitae, but I suppose I'll try the door. I'm happy to see what's inside.
So the door opens, and inside you actually hear laughter. The vibe in here is very different from what's happening on the street outside. It feels almost like another world in here. There's people laughing, there's music, there's a drag king up at the front of the stage that you noticed telling some really terrible comedy, giving some awful jokes, but people seem to be enjoying it. And you notice that this drag king is using a ventriloquist dummy, but the mouth doesn't really look like an actual dummy's mouth. You can't see a hand moving it. It just seems to be moving as this king is performing.
That seems inspiring, if a little strange. All right, well, step on in and ignore the bar and loom somewhere.
So, Frank, you went to ground a little while ago, when you realized you needed to disappear for a bit and get yourself out of the danger zone, but you didn't quite want to leave because Marcus asked you to come here and, you're old buddies. That's what you do. And you emerged from your quite literal melding with the earth a few nights ago to find San Francisco in even more of a panic and a state of anxiety than it had been even when you first arrived. And so you've, like the kind-hearted vampire you are, put on a show for people to come in and forget their worries. And this is the third night, and it seems to be going very, very well. You don't even need to use any sort of illusions to get people to pretend that what they're seeing isn't absolutely horrific, because they seem quite willing to trick themselves into believing that what they're seeing isn't real, despite the fact that they've seen things like drag queens with actual tails, lizard tails, massive lizard's tails, and they've seen performers coming on stage with mouths where the nipples should be. All sorts of strange things. But they just seem content to pretend it's not real and enjoy it and leave their cares outside. And as the performance is happening, you see the door open from your corner table where you've just been relaxing a little bit, and you see one Marcus Voss enter. And you can feel the tension rolling off of him in waves.
I'll go ahead and I'll send him a little mental message to where I'm at. Just kind of like a beacon almost, like ping him.
You get a mental ping, Marcus.
You probably snap around a little because I'm not used to that. I wouldn't say skittish, but I think probably a little, I think my temperament is probably pretty highly, I'm on high alert. It's fairly easy to tell. That, and Frank knows me pretty well, so even the people who might not know that, he'd know that. I'll look in that direction.
You see me in a white seersucker suit, fedora on, shades. I look a little bit different than I did before, but my arms are thrown across the circular booth that I'm in. There's also there's my primary ghoul, Cynthia Kale. You notice her sitting at the table with me, and you see one other who you can, I can't even tell you it's not, but one obvious vampire sitting at the table with me as well.
I'll walk over. Frank?
I say must be my lucky day. Marcus, how are you, son?
I've been better.
I can see you're tense. You're so tense. You need to relax a little bit, live a little. Put some of that, leave your worries outside, son. In here, it's all happy.
I have a story to tell you when you're ready.
Whoa.
Our ears only, but
believe me, every ear, we're all ears here. It's fine. Go ahead and speak your mind, son. There's nothing to worry about.
I sit down.
Sit there. Get the man a drink. Would you like something?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Do you have a care of what type?
A human's fine. Perhaps I look around.
A negative? O?
O is fine.
O is good. Would you like them to be fucked up on anything? I can't find any that are actually clean in this part of town. So you're going to have to take your choice of a number of problems.
Well, if they've had a few drinks, that's fine. Or perhaps...
Right, let's just get him a drunk O, please.
So, I appreciate you seeing to my refreshment.
Oh, what are friends for, Marcus?
Well, we will definitely speak about that. I have a request to make later. Perhaps you...
I'm just tingling with anticipation, I tell you.
Well, it's become very clear to me that the city is doing rather it's in a rather poly state because of the leadership involved here. And I wouldn't normally speak out so directly about it, but I've become convinced that change is in order. A rather specific change.
Pretty sure I was telling you this shit. What was it, a week ago now? 9 days? 10 days? How long the fuck have I been here? How long have I been here? That long. 9 days. 9 days. I told you this 9 days ago. I walked in the city and I told you this shit was going to have to change. And you held on to your shit just like you did all those years ago. You held on to it for what, 60 fucking years? How long have we been doing this shit? I don't remember anymore. I can tell you that this shit's going to have to change. I told you this. I keep telling you this. Change is just in the air. It's what brings us life. Makes us feel alive. Reminds us what it's like. Everybody likes a little change.
I've spoken with my sire about it. And I've got the backing of him and possibly many of my clan. We're going to leave.
Describe leave. Because it seems like you got a pretty nice place here already.
Oh, we're not going to geographically leave.
Oh. I do like.
It's time that those who have kept their heel on us understand that they're not going to be able to do so any longer. And the arrival of their venture nutcracker is only an echo of the past. It's only complicated and compounded everything that I was trying to do.
Oh, the infamous Billy the Hammer. Such a scary name for such an ugly bastard.
Well, I did the smart thing, the non-Ruha thing. The smart thing in our first meeting. I kept things direct. I told him what the problem was, the truth. And that is, the problem is the person in control of everything. They're not in control of anything at all.
I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but vis-a-vis earlier conversation, statements made, etc., etc.
Yes, no, please crow whenever you're ready. I point to the table. I'm happy to eat. I held on for an awful long time thinking that this place could be made into something within such an organization. And the truth that I have come to is it cannot be. The organization is the problem. And I am not going to allow its tenets or traditions to hold me down any longer. Those chains will be broken, irrevocably, and for the better.
As you say that, a bony thing that looks rather like a crab comes scuttling up to you. It looks to be made of leg bones, but kind of fleshy in the middle, and it's got a very long fleshy straw attached to it, and it just settles down in front of you.
Here's your drunk O is here now. Just come on up here. Come on.
The crab climbs up on the table and just sits there in front of you, Marcus.
I mean, this probably isn't the strangest thing I've seen, but yeah, I suppose I will test the flesh to see how much is in this flesh sack of legs and sinew.
So, you look at it and you think maybe I should bite that.
Well, there's a straw. Why would I bite it?
Exactly. You just maybe want to be a bit careful with it.
Yes, I will be a bit careful.
Smells good though.
Yeah, I'll have a drink. That's what it's there for. It would be rude to say no.
It would be. It's a little odd. It's not your preferred way of drinking, but the blood is at the right temperature.
There's no hunt, but I suppose in a way I hunted it unknowingly. I knew I was going to need a drink.
It jumps slightly when you first start to drink. It jumps a little bit, scuttles.
No, I hold it in place. Fuck that. I hold it in place. So,
Cynthia, that's making me hungry. Hang on, see if you can rustle me up an AB negative with some of them hormones in it, like we found the other day, and maybe some opiates. That sounds good. There's got to be a dime a dozen in this fucking place, right? Just give me some of that. Sounds good. It looks quite nice there. I think I'll partake as well when mine arrives. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. The city is hopefully going to be coming out very soon from its contaminated blood problem.
Oh, so you figured it out?
Yes. Not only did we figure
me in.
Figure it out.
I'm impatient. I've been in the damn ground for a week, son. That's shit.
Much as you fostered me and made sure that I kept my eyes open mostly, we've done the same with a young Tremere who's without a sire. And he's proved most capable, and he's kind of a little mad scientist-y during this whole thing, but he's grown up enough out of his shell to get something done. And hopefully in the next night or so, we'll be sure that the people treated, at least the 4 or so that have been treated to date, that their dreams are over and that they're slumbering like we're supposed to. But the trouble is the person who crafted this terrible blood disease is still out there. And that's the next person we're running after.
Man behind the mask. The little fucking wizard from Oz, right? The guy behind the curtain?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, the Toreador Primogen here in town who was blood hunted, he's dead.
Oh, I bet that was nice. Who took him?
It's funny you should say that. I was there for the kill, but not.
Oh, you didn't get... you poor bastard. That's such a shame. One more reason why these fucking Camarilla motherfuckers, I'm telling you, they won't even let you have a little bit of the good juice. You know what I mean?
Yes, Frank, I know what you mean. I made sure that another member of Clan Toreador was able to partake. And she's...
Oh, we're not talking about the wonderful, the beautiful Katerina.
Bogdanovich.
Oh, that might be interesting then, huh?
Oh, it certainly was.
I imagine so. So tell me, how is Miss Katerina?
Still a little wary of her doors, I believe, but...
that's interesting, because my doors are not wary of her at all.
No, and she's quite well put together. I can confirm.
Well put together. I will say, be careful you don't put your dick in crazy.
I probably snort. Well, you see, Brujah passions, they do run hot and very strong, as you well know.
That's not what I'm meaning either, son. I want you to try and read between the lines here a little bit. And what is the recent crazy we have seen? Or you have, at least. I haven't seen it personally. Maybe some outfall. But what's the recent crazy you've seen?
Oh, all the things associated with tainted blood, but I made sure that there was no blood exchange between us.
So what are some of those signs? Just so I know myself. I just want to make sure I'm in the right.
Inability to sleep properly, dreaming at night, a hunger that cannot be sated by blood.
Right. Okay. So something like, I don't know, complete night terrors, waking up screaming, let's see, going absent for an entire night. Oh, how about this one? This one I'm quite happy I caught a glimpse of, at least a little bit. I do believe that she has killed a man in her bakery downstairs. She ate that motherfucker dry. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe she's not gotten any of that bad blood. But it seems like when she started dreaming and screaming and shouting some shit about rivers of blood coming out of Santa Cruz, that maybe there's a problem there.
Yes, I'm aware that she's infected, although she was also part of the group earlier tonight that took part in the cleansing. And so we should find out tomorrow if she's been cleaned.
I want to just do like a mental check-in with my doors. And do the doors tell me if she's home or not?
She's home at the moment, and she seems very agitated and very much not in control. She slammed the door shut behind her, which she never does.
Marcus, I told you a long time ago, don't get too fucking close. And I'm just telling you, she's not right. Even now. Like right now, she's not right. She's a beautiful woman, I get that. I understand that, but shit changes, man.
Yeah, we just came from a pretty difficult series of this serial killer that was running rampant in San Francisco. He's done.
So tell me, what was that? Explain what happened there. I'm out of the loop on that.
So a member of Clan Toreador here years ago was not good enough to be accepted by their clan for their art form, and so they decided to turn against their clan, and somehow, someway ended up in Egypt and took to, I think, worshipping Set.
Well, that's different.
Yes. They also learned thaumaturgical rituals.
Oh, see, this is my problem with the fucking Camarilla. Next time you got a Toreador goes off fucking rails and starts talking crazy shit that Toreadors like, oh, I want to worship. Fuck that shit. Send them to me, and we'll have a nice little conversation. We won't have any more Toreador problem. I won't get rid of them. I'll just bring them into the fold. It'll be fine. They won't lose their mind. They won't go killing 100 million fucking humans because they get their fucking dick in a kink or something. I don't understand these people.
Yes. And that's another purpose for my stopping here. Another purpose is that there are going to be some meetings soon, whether they be at Elysium or elsewhere, that when I make my declaration, my shedding, so to speak, plus any members that choose to come with me, I want to make sure that the sheriff and Billy's boys or girls or whomever they are, when they decide to come after me, which they will, I want to make sure that I'm protected properly.
So you want me to come with you? You want some help?
No. Well,
I've got some help. I point at the woman sitting at our table that's not Cynthia, the other vampire.
Is this a child?
One of mine.
So this is what I was thinking. Back during the war, there were certain augments that you made.
Mm.
And I was wondering if you'd be willing to make a very specific augment for me.
Oh, tit for tat, son. What you got in mind?
How do you feel about beef or pig shoulder blades?
I mean, they're a dime a dozen. Get more specific, son. I got no reservations about cutting up a pig, if that's what you're saying. They're all pigs to me.
You're going to cut me up.
Again, you're all pigs to me, so what am I doing?
You're protecting my heart from being staked.
Oh, if that's
by putting hardened bone over it.
Oh, all right. That's fine. You want me to take it out?
No. No. But I was thinking front and back, just in case someone tries to go through either.
I'll put some plates on you. That's no problem. You're going to have to do sides too, because let me tell you, a lot of motherfuckers get killed by a stake through the armpit. Right in the soft spot there. It sucks. You don't see that one coming, I'm telling you.
I probably moved my hand up the side of my ribs like, oh yeah.
It's just, it's a little bit longer travel, but I'm telling you, get there just as quick.
I just want to be ready. And then moving
fine.
forward, my plan is to, it seems silly, but I want to give people a focus, a voice. And so my plan is to declare the port of San Francisco my barony.
Well, that's all fine, son. What's going to happen to your prince then?
I don't think they're going to be around very long.
Oh, there's a tear. Do you see it?
I do.
It's right here. It's running down. Oh shit, it evaporated.
So this is my offer. I will, if you'd like, to stick around. Not that you couldn't do of your own accord, but I would section off a portion of the port for some containers. Some refrigerated and some not. And let you set up shop.
I will counteroffer you, son, because let's be fair, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. First off, I'll take Castro. That sounds fine. I like it here. I got this little place here. We bought it last week. It's quite a nice little theater here we got going on. Ain't no big deal. Second, I can't do it with what you suggest. Pig shoulders. What the? I don't know where you got that idea that we deal in pigs, but I can only deal with human. We like human. Human bone is what I do with. You bring me enough bone, I'll bring you enough carapace in order to make sure a bomb don't go through you.
Fair enough. Visually, though, I don't want it to be apparent.
That's fine. You might have to wear a jacket.
Adjust the jacket I'm wearing now.
I'll pull my jacket open and then close it.
Do we see anything interesting?
No, I have a shirt on underneath. But if he touched me, he would. That's a whole nother thing, which I'm going to tell you now, he's not touching me.
No, that's not my plan.
Yeah.
So Castro just is a little far away from the port itself, but if that's where you're comfortable, then be comfortable. My plan isn't to try to take over the entire city, Frank. That would be insanity. I don't have the men, the women, the beings, the money, the influence yet. Not yet. What I want to be
You're
is
selling yourself short, son. You're just a few phone calls away from having that many people. A few favors owed.
I have some people in Oakland, people that still remember the days of the sect war. I've got some pull there. My plan is to reach out to them, see how many friends I can make.
Well, I understand if you want to do it on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. You'll have to give me a little bit of time. When can you bring me some people?
Oh.
And when do you need it by?
So, Rena, check me on this. The blood moon happens
on the 7th. It is now early morning on the 3rd.
It'll have to be in the next couple of days. The 7th, the full moon, the blood moon, is going to tie into all of this. And that's when all these dominoes are going to start falling. And I want it done before then. So, tomorrow night, I'll find you some people.
Yeah, make sure they come tomorrow night and go ahead. I tell you what, it's up to you. I mean, I don't want to seem unreasonable by asking for Castro. I realize that's a nice place. How about I just keep this place in Castro and whatever you want to give me of the port? I'm fine with that. They can try and throw my ass out. Good fucking luck.
I think you being in Castro is good. I think it's also something that pulls you away from the port because what they're going to look for as soon as it gets declared is weak points. That's all this hammer will need. He just needs someone to stand up and be the next nail.
Well, we have ways of dealing with hammers. We got some real old school fucking ways of dealing with hammers.
I have something special coming in for him. Something that even that venture blood can't deal with.
Oh, really? Do share.
Well, you're familiar with the story of St. George, right?
The dragon.
Yes. It breathed the terrible fire, didn't it?
You got up your sleeve, son.
Hell.
Playing with fire for real now.
It's really come over the past couple of weeks, honestly. I don't know. Maybe it's the stress of seeing the coterie deteriorate and slowly become infected. Maybe it's just something gnawing at me. Frustrations. I don't know. I'm tired of it. And I'm damn tired of these white tower bastards deciding that they just want to fix things by sending in the next person who's going to beat the shit out of everyone that says no. I'm tired of it. And this time, San Francisco's going to punch back.
Oh, I like the sound of it. It sounds like a fun time, personally. So here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need 6 individuals. I'm going to need about 5 hours of your time. And then we're going to need, a pint of your blood as well.
All right.
But I can get that on the table. Not going to be a problem. It'll be tit for tat. Don't worry about it. You can have some of mine. I'll take some of yours. It'll be just like the old days.
All right. Well,
let's be fair. I'm not giving you much of a fucking choice here, Marcus. This is the price of doing fucking business. We deal in blood and bone. I can't make it a snap-on, bolt-on bullshit like they make. This ain't no flak fucking vest. This shit's gonna grow out of you. I need the bodies to make it grow. Blood's the payment, son. You know that. You knew that walking in here. You were just hoping I would forget somehow.
I don't think so. I think I was hoping that I would get a fair bargain. That's what I got.
I'll turn to the vampire beside me. Lindsay, give this man your card. Make sure that you get with him and make sure those people get here. You just tell me when you're coming. As long as I get the people here tomorrow, it's fine. I'll have to prep them ahead of time. And then you just let me know when you're going to show up. We'll need about 5 hours, like I said.
Now, speaking of Marcus's blood, Frank, you do catch a whiff of it on the air. Like Marcus's distinct scent.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's been injured at some point. You can smell it. And it hasn't healed yet.
Like aggravated injury? Or just injured?
Injured. But pretty nasty. Well, for a human anyway.
I'm going to kind of lean in, lean kind of close to him and just do the boy, you need to drink some more. You should have told me you're bleeding everywhere. You're going to make a stain on these fucking seats. Look at this pleather. You can't get this pleather clean. I'm joking. It sprays off the power washer every night. That's how place I run. But just go ahead and take some more, please. You're obviously hurting.
I'll drink some more in an attempt to recover. I'll sort of gesture to my general chest area and say that that serial killer, that weirdo Toreador, he was able to conjure up something with paint and blood. I'd never seen it before, even heard of it before. It was like paint and blood that was malleable, that he could create things out of.
Oh, that's old magic, son. You wouldn't have seen that.
He created some version of me. The one that you'd fashioned into a tool to save the city. The one that got me the title Scourge. And he attacked me.
I'm going to tell you something else, Marcus. You've been careless. You've left little bits of your blood somewhere in the past, haven't you? You've not cleaned up after yourself. Them fucking Camarilla rules getting in the way of you doing a good job. Somebody's got your blood, son.
It's possible.
It's not possible. It's a fucking fact, man. They've made a simulacrum of yourself. Not just of now, but from then. You're screwed, son.
We'll see about that.
Now, I do want to ask you about something. I've been hearing a lot about this Juanita Martinez. And if I don't like anything, I don't like a Nosferatu. But, well, to be fair, Tremere is a real high second. But then third on my list of not liking motherfuckers is a Ventru. And so tell me about Juanita Martinez, please.
Juanita Martinez.
Juanita Martinez is the Ventru Primogen. She's a tiny Hispanic woman who worked in Felix Conrad's power broker office. Still does, still on the board as far as you know, and she's been the Primogen for the past 35 years.
Okay, so Martinez, yeah. Ventru Primogen worked with Felix Conrad at his location downstairs. Of course, Felix is dead. And so is his... Well, I don't know that he's dead yet. I know that his son is missing. His child is missing, right? Trevor's missing, or do I know he's dead?
You know he's missing.
Yeah.
Alex has just said that he left and they couldn't find him.
Right. Yeah, so I'd say, the Venturer were in pretty bad disarray, but Martinez is a real piece of work from what I remember, and not someone that I would prefer to tangle with, at least socially. Physically, it'd be a different story. But, yeah.
Well, unlike you, I'm not worried about her looks. So she got a lot of political clout, is what you're telling me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
She's been in business in her position for 35 years.
Fair enough. So I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of talking about Billy the Hammer and all the whisperings that I got weird ears of. It seems like Juanita is the next one in line, so to speak, if your favorite prince takes a topple. Now, I got nothing against somebody filling a power gap. I just wouldn't rather it not be anybody associated with Billy the motherfucking Hammer.
And they're playing Martinez into the role of pawn for the Hammer.
Precisely.
Another chess piece to move.
Well, I'm just going to remove it, if that's all right. I'm not asking permission. I'm just telling you, 2 days, don't be anywhere near Juanita or Martinez. All right?
Understood.
That's tit for tat. Have you got anything else? Otherwise, I tell you to enjoy yourself. That one over there,
yes.
I took out his spine. He's got no spine. Look at him. He twists himself around like a goddamn contortionist. He can put himself in a literal knot. Unbelievable.
It's truly something.
And there's a guy comes on in about, no, she's a queen. Comes on in, 15, 20, when did they come on? 20 minutes? 20 minutes. She's got nine joints in her limbs, like extra elbows and knees. She can make a circle, like a circle. It's something else.
Speaking of something else, have you heard or seen any Gangrel around recently? You were under Earth, so...
Oh, well, that doesn't stop me from paying attention. Yeah, I know about some Gangrel. I know they're gone, and I know that your little friend's not too happy about it.
Wait, which friend isn't happy about it? The only reason I ask is because, obviously, the Gangrel and Bruja here were, at one time, fairly close, especially after the war. We got to run a lot in the same circles. Out howling at the moon and whatnot.
Believe me, I understand. You are Yumamoto. Z was seen leaving the city. She went off to talk to the country Gangrel. But I saw you were coming back into town, and well, Z didn't look too happy. And
strange. They left town, but then came back. They went to go speak with the country Gangrel?
Yeah. Slinking was the word I would use. Slinking back.
That's
upset.
Different.
Ooh, they were quite pissed.
I wonder about what.
Well, I mean, you can kind of put two and two together, but I would say they refused her, which is good on your view if you play your cards right. You just need to send yourself an envoy out to the country boys and see if they'll come in town and clean shop a little bit.
Or if nothing else, be willing to make it aware that they will. No, I don't think they would fight us on that, especially if maybe we could talk to them about Crane Cove Park. It's actually fairly close to some of the ports, and it's a pretty big green space.
Well, that's your call. I don't know. You can give them. What's that park that looks over the bridge? I was there the
Golden
other
Gate
night.
Park?
Yeah, is that what it's called? It's up on the hill. It looks out. You can see the bridge in the distance, just above the fog line.
Yep. It's a beautiful place.
I think they came from there. Points at the crab.
I'd look at the crab. I let it kind of shiver and undulate a little bit after I take another drink of it.
So, your brethren in the Anarch Society down in Oakland, have they made themselves known on this particular adventure yet?
Not yet. I have to talk to them. I have to cross the Bay Bridge, and that's an entire ordeal in and of itself.
And just so I'm clear, what are you going to do about Katerina? Because if you have problems with it, I have no problems with it.
No, actually, I quite like the Toreador where she's at.
You like her crazy and screaming at the moon, losing her shit, killing humans left and right. I mean, I got no problem with killing humans, but she's doing it all wrong. She's tearing herself up over it. Shit, she should enjoy it.
She is a very driven person, and when people get in her way, she has a very hot temper.
Right.
And
well, she's
like
not
that.
sleeping. Is she sleeping right now? No, she's not. She's not sleeping, son. Not only that, but she was missing on Halloween. I forgot to tell you that bit, but she went totally AWOL on Halloween night.
I know.
Oh, you know that as well, huh? You know a lot.
I know where she was Halloween night because she was with me, Frank.
Oh, that explains a lot. Explains those noises I heard coming from under your door.
That's why I want to keep her where she's at.
That's fine. I'm just, I'm throwing it out there. You can control her. That's fine. But if she goes off crazy ape shit, I have no problem dealing with it. If she goes crazy in my direction, just remind her, hey,
Certainly.
Castro's off the limits.
Certainly. I don't think her plan with the bakery is to send any cookie carts up here to create problems for you. In fact,
I'm more worried about the blood thing spreading, but if you think you've got that settled, then that's fine.
I'm trying very hard not to trust what this Tremere has done. I'll just put it that way. But
here's another little tidbit of wisdom coming from my mouth to your ears. You can't fucking trust a wizard. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Ever. Did I remind you of the simulacrum you just described to me of your old self, which you just had to battle and has apparently fucked you up, son? You can't trust a wizard. They're better off dead. Or at least easily manipulated.
Trust me, I wanted to kill this wizard tonight. No question.
Oh, well, just tell me who it is. That's a freebie. I don't need recompense for that.
This specific sorcerer is kindred by the name of Damascus. They've left town now.
Oh, well, shit. How far away is he?
I'm not sure. Couldn't be more than a couple of hours.
Oh, well, then he's barely left anywhere, son.
We're very eager. The coterie is very eager to have another face-to-face conversation with him. He has a very punchable face, Frank.
That makes sense.
And I must admit, the Alex Giovanni is very interested to get a hold of him after I beat him into oblivion. They have a whole set of things that they're planning on doing.
Well, that sounds like leverage, son. You need to get a hold of him.
I do, because I need Alex Giovanni, and that is probably a unbelievably frustrating sentence to say.
Again, can't trust the wizards, but you can manipulate the wizards. They're fairly easy to control. But you need to install a heart plug. I can show you how. But all you do, you make a little valve and you just pull it out whenever you get sick of them, and it just gone, no more, easy peasy. I got it. I tell you, some of the younger ones, they introduced me to film a number of years ago, and there was this movie called Doom, and this evil motherfucker, I loved him, named Baron Harkonnen. Have you seen this movie, Marcus?
I have.
They're making a remake, but I'm not worried about that. The old one, they had heart plugs. You could pull them out. I was upset. I'd come up with that 150 years prior, but I tell you what, it works really well.
That could be very useful. And you could make it work on a kindred body.
Sure. I'd rather just kill him, but whatever.
So what you're saying, though, as about the venture, though,
Right.
they're going to dump the prince and they're going to put their own prince in.
Yeah, they're going to, the talk is that they're going to put Juanita up. I figured I'd cut that option off before it got started real good.
I love that idea.
Well, I'm glad you approve, son. It's almost like I haven't done this for a few dozen centuries or more.
Well, I'm certain that you're happy to see the current sitter in that seat of princedom fall. We now share that in common.
It would bring me nothing but the greatest joy to watch the Nosferatu fail at something. Anything. I really enjoy watching them fuck up tying their shoe in the morning. You know, every once in a while you start tying a shoe, you mess it up, and you gotta tie it again.
All right. Dawn's coming.
Do you need a bed?
No. For many reasons, I need to go back to the office. Many reasons.
You sure you don't want me to deal with Katerina? You're fine with her as she is. Give it a day. Can we give it a day?
I'm certain she will not be a problem for me.
Now, I like when you bring certainties into it. You're certain she's not a problem for you. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to give it about 4 days, too.
I thought you might. Well, just put it this way. When I had the opportunity to deal with the Toreador Primogen, she was right there at my side, and she was eager to take her right on the blood hunt.
Well, that's good. That's a step in the right direction. I'm telling you, she's got a lot of potential. I just want to make sure it doesn't get spoiled. I want to make sure that potential blossoms in the way that it should. I don't need another psychotic killer running around. Those are a dime a dozen.
No. She's a builder. She had a farm at some point.
Well, also remember she's dreaming about rivers of blood coming out of Oakland or Santa Cruz. Sorry. And, I'm just keep it in the back of your head.
I will. I'll see you soon.
You have yourself a nice evening.
I look back at the show.
There's a androgynous person in 9 or 10 inch platform bone feet. They're obviously not heels, but just feet. And they're twisted around 4 times around their torso as they hook their hands onto their heels, which are their literal heels. And they roll in a circle around the stage, and they stop with their crotch in the air, and a hard-on comes on, and their penis opens up like an orchid.
I mean, if no one else is clapping, I'm clapping.
The place goes wild. Frank. I told you, son. I told you. No spine. Unbelievable. Hell of a show.
Yeah.
And that is where we will leave tonight's episode. Thank you for joining us for the adventures of Marcus and Frank once again, and hope you will tune in next time as our coterie continues the Blood Moon Hunt. Thank you, and good night.